National Federation of Independent Business has revealed that the United States small business sentiment declined in September amidst expectation of unfavorable operating conditions in the next 6 months, and many owners reported raising prices or planning to suggesting that inflation was poised to increase further. The small businesses optimism index dropped 2 points to 98.8 last month, was the first decline in the 3 months. Data also showed that the uncertainty index jumped 7 points from August to 100, and the fourth highest reading in over 51 years. In Ocean Eye, the Reserve Bank of Australia board has decided against an immediate interest rate cut in September, holding the cash rate steady at 3.60%. The RBA noted that a cut was unnecessary given persistent services inflation and stable employment. Having already implemented 3/4 point cuts this year, the bank judged that risks to the economy remain balanced, and the RBA signaled that future easing would be data dependent, with policymakers focusing intently on third quarter inflation and consumption readings ahead of the next policy meeting on November the 4th. A survey for National Australia Bank has shown business conditions remained steady in September as improvements in sales and profits were offset by a fall in employment. The index of business conditions was unchanged, at least +8 last month. A business confidence index inched up 3 points to +7, above the long-run average. Profitability bounced 1 point to +6, and it has now lifted 11 points since May. But forward orders fell 3 points below average and into negative territory. Input costs rose marginally in the month but remain lower than seen at the start of the year. Quarterly growth in retail prices rose to 0.7% from 0.5%, while labor costs slowed to 1.5% from 1.6%. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand has planned to ease mortgage loan-to-value ratio restrictions from December the 1st, as house prices are now at sustainable estimates after a sustained fall. The bank noted that 25% of new loans banks issue to owner-occupiers can go to buyers with deposits of less than 20% of the property's value. Currently, only 20% of loans can go to these buyers. The central bank added that the debt-to-income restrictions introduced last year were also helping to underpin borrower resilience and will help to contain the severity and consequences of any housing market corrections. Moving on to global news, where the International Air Transport Association has released a report that is expected to intensify the debate over competition within the $250 billion aerospace industry, especially concerning the practices of its key suppliers. IATA Director General Willie Walsh expressed surprise at the extent of the report's findings, adding that there may be sufficient grounds to re-examine whether airlines are being subjected to anti-competitive practices by manufacturers and other suppliers. IATA further noted that airlines are expected to spend $120 billion on repair and maintenance this year, rising to $150 billion by 2030.
Stabilize it puts like a floor under given this reasonably favorable the pandemic that
Joël Mokier, Philippe Aguillon, and Peter Howitt have won the 2025 Nobel Economic Prize for their work on how innovation and the forces of creative destruction can drive economic growth and lift living standards across the globe. Their research explains how technology gives rise to new products and production methods which replace old ones, resulting in a better standard of living, health, and quality of life. The prestigious award, formerly known as the Prize in Economic Science in memory of Alfred Nobel, is the final prize to be given out this year and is worth 11 million Swedish crowns.
Philippe Aguillon, Collège de France and INSEAD, France.
The Dutch government has taken control of Chinese-owned computer chip maker Nexperia, ratcheting up tensions with Beijing as a global fight brews over technology, intellectual property, especially around semiconductors. The government announced that it has intervened in Nijmegen, a headquartered Nexperia, which manufactures chips for cars and consumer electronics. It noted that it will not take ownership of Nexperia, but it will now have the power to reserve or block management decisions it considers harmful. The company's regular production is continuing. The government cited worries about the possible transfer of technology to Nexperia's Chinese parent company, WingTech. In response, WingTech called the Dutch government's intervention in Nexperia, once part of Dutch electronics group Philips, excessive interference driven by a geopolitical bias. WingTech also alleged that non-Chinese Nexperia executives have tried to forcibly alter the company's equity structure through legal proceeding in a power grab on the company.